Hi there, welcome. My name's Diane and I'm coming to you from Walsall in the West Midlands. If you are a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. We've got a finished object, a couple of older finished objects, some whips and some other bits and pieces just to chit chat about. So yeah, we'll get right into it. I think if I don't record this time, it's not going to get done because this is about the 20th recording, because I don't edit, so it is what it is. Anyway, we'll get right into it. Welcome. So what am I wearing? Well, this is my ranunculus. I finished this on Thursday. It's now Sunday, 14th of November, so a couple of days. I've washed it, blocked it, and I'm loving it. Yeah, so that's what it's like. Done a couple of modifications which I will share shortly, but so the yarns I used for this were, this one is a one of a kind, Ducky Darlings. I do have the labels here. Yeah, this one was one of a kind Ducky Darlings. Both Ducky Darlings yarns. I think I've mentioned these before. Okay, and the other one was, I can't take that off because I've wrapped it round and round. Country Garden, it was called anyway. I've got 25 grams of this Country Garden, and I have 62 grams plus a little ball, because I originally started in this colour at the yoke and I didn't like the colour combination the way it was going, so I think there's another 20 grams there. No, 7 grams. Right, okay. So yeah, that's the finished object. I made a couple of modifications of when you pick up stitches under the arm, on the next 2 rows, no, the next 4 rows, I've decreased 2 on each side for 4 rows. For 2 rows out of 4, so one decrease, one decrease, and then when I got down to probably about there, I just decreased another 4 stitches over 4 rows, and then I've extended, obviously, because it should be a cropped, we don't want to show our bellies. So I've done it, it's probably about 4 inches deeper than it should be, but it's just right for me. I'm loving it. So yeah, one and only finished object. Oh, what a week. It's been a mad week. Every week seems to be really busy lately. I don't know what's going on with life, but there's never enough hours in the day, is there? I don't know if anybody else finds the same thing. Right, I haven't mentioned where you can find me, so I'll just pop it all in the description down below, because I'm not doing this again. It's ridiculous now. Okay, so we'll get on to, I want to get on to finished older whips. One of the first cardigans I mentioned before on my first podcast, I think it was, that the first garment I'd made was a ranunculus. It wasn't, because I remembered the other day that I made this sweet gum, and it was a really simple, easy beginner kind of pattern. I will talk a bit more about beginner patterns later on, because I had a lovely message from a lady on Instagram regarding being a new knitter and whatnot. So I've got a couple of things to share there for you, Debbie, if you're watching still. Okay, Sorry if I keep looking at myself, but I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be looking all the time. I look at me, but I don't know if I'm looking at you. So I'll try to keep to the green dot. So this is my version. I can't remember what the yarn was because it was just an acrylic that I'd got in stash. And I had my Ducky Darlings, these yarns at the time, which I was going to do this in. But because I'd never done a garment this big, I decided to do it in acrylics, just in case it went wrong and I didn't waste my yarn. I mean, I could always have frogged it back, but I didn't want to go down that path. So, but I love it. Now, you may notice there I did make a mistake. So in the pattern, it was the way I read the pattern. I read it as knit one, purl one, and it wasn't. Wasn't. Beginner knitter, you know, rookie mistakes and all that. But it's a raglan cardigan, and so I left that in as a I left that in as a feature. It was my first garment. I love the button band detail. I was really pleased with that as a first time knitter of a garment. I thought I was really pleased. I thought, wow, I haven't put any buttons on. I'm not a button person, but it's very warm in here, so I'm just going to pop it on just for a second just to show the fit. So I made the size 4 on the pattern. It is a free pattern, or was a free pattern on Expression Fibre Arts, because I really like her patterns. And it's by Jane Vensuelos. There she is. Refuga to Expression Fibre Arts. I don't know if it's still a free pattern because she has them on her site for a short period of time. Excuse the rustling. But it just looks so lovely. I mean, I am going to make another one, but I want to get some more yarns, some nicer yarns, and just kind of take my time with it a little bit more next time. And so anyway, that's the fit. Like I say, I don't do buttons, so if I can just, it's a nice length for just throwing on through the summer months, through the autumn. Excuse my face, right up against there. Yeah, but so yeah, I love it. And for the first time proper garment, I was really pleased with that. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, we'll go straight into whips. So I have socks, because you've got to have a sock, ain't you? You've always got to have a sock. So these are a Richard pair, and this was the Attic Spin dye in the colourway Black Death. I should just remember that. It's etched on my brain. But yeah, Attic Spin dye. Their yarns are beautiful, beautiful to work with. Knits up really, really, I'm loving the way it's knitting. To be honest, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I haven't got very much further than last week, to be honest. My ranunculus has taken up all the time. 1 by 1 rib, and he asked for a longer rib this time, so I've done a longer rib, and he likes them long anyway. So these are going to take a little while. I have cast on the second though, so yeah, loving those. So that's knitting up really well. Attic Spin dye yarns. Perfect. Then my second sock. This is the yarn that my friend Sylvia, I hope you don't mind me calling you my friend, Sylvia, But I did mention her on the podcast last week. She sent me some yarn because I talked about the camo yarn, and so this is how this is knitting up at the minute, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely, don't know if the light's blowing that out a little bit. It's a little bit darker than what the greens are a little bit darker than what's showing up on the camera there, but, and I have starting the second as well, so I'm working from inside and then on the outside to do 2 socks. I like to work my socks that way, then at least I've got both of them on the needles at the same time. So it just seems to go a bit quicker, because does anybody really love ribbing? And that's my little Yarndale sheeps badge on there, and I'm using I always forget to say what needles I'm using, to be honest. This is a 9-inch 2.75, no it isn't, totally lying, 2.5 9-inch circular, the higher, and they come in a set with the bag. And I think I got these, Richard got me these from Elle at Craft House Magic. So those are on 2.5 higher, and the other one was on 2.75. Again, the same, it's the same set. It is in the same set, but this bag, I've got a set of flyers as well, which is the set of 3 in all the different sizes. So spoiled, what can I say? Spoiled. Excuse me. Okay, so my next work in progress is the spike. If you remember the last time we spoke, I'd frogged the yarn, and that's the pattern I'm working from. I'd frogged the yarn, and I wasn't very happy. I was deciding whether to change colours or stay with what I got. So I decided to stay with what I've got, which is the buttermilk and Ducky Darlings, sorry, buttermilk and ginger ale. Okay, and this is the progress we've made there. I mean, this is, I suppose you can say it's a new cast on, because I've frogged it all back, so I'm happy with the progress, to be honest. In 2 weeks and everything else, this has taken, Ranunculus has taken most of my time, to be honest. I've been really want to finish it. So I've done down to just starting the lace work on this. I don't know if you can see, but it's looking much better than it did on the last one. I don't know why. I've gone up a needle size, so it calls for 3.75, and I think I'm on a 4 millimeter, and these are the Lick Blush needles, which I love. And I love these because of it's got a swivel on there, so you don't have to keep untangling your needle, but the swivel is really good on that. Anyway, back to so yeah, that is the spike, and that's how far I've got. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more to show you next time. I'm not going to frog it again. I love it now. So the colours are playing really nice now, I think. And I think it'll just look better as it goes, you know, as it grows. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And that is living in my Yarndale bag. Excuse me. I've still got a frog in my throat from a few weeks ago with my little Poppy. Happy Remembrance Day to everyone as well. I've seen a few things on Facebook this morning about, you know, people walking to the cenotaphs and that. Ooh. I'll have to catch that in a minute. It's kind of escaped over there. Oh, we seem to be motoring through these today. I did have a coffee when I started recording, and I've done it on and off that many times. I've got no coffee left, so, but it was in my favourite mug as usual. I think I got this from Morrison's. Just a little bit of information, you know, useless information there. Okay, so my next, now I cast this on yesterday, and this is the Brayer Patch, and it's a set. I think I mentioned it on the last podcast that I were going to cast this on. So it's the cowl, the hat and the mittens. I've made the cowl and the hat already, and they've been a present for my daughter, my oldest daughter. But now I'm going to have a go at the mitts. Now, this is a pattern again by Jane Vensueles, and at the time when I got this, it was a free pattern on Expression Fibre Arts again. Jane's patterns are beautiful, and they're really, I say they're really easy to follow. I think you need a little bit of experience of pattern reading, if I'm honest, as well, because I have made a boo-boo and I think I'm going to have to rip back and start again. So I have taken it as this is worked flat and then you join. So that is my interpretation. There's your thumb increases on this side. So that's the front. And you're supposed to have that Brayer Patch kind of pattern there, but the back is just supposed to be stockinette. Just, but can you see? It looks a little bit, and what it is, now I've got to the part in the pattern where you have to put the thumb 9 stitches on scrap yarn. Then it says continuing the round. But nowhere on the pattern does it say when you join, it says cast on 33 stitches. It doesn't say joining the round. So I assumed when I cast on the 33 stitches, it was worked flat. And then I kept looking and I thought, oh, this doesn't look very good. It is supposed to have those, you see those in between the ribbing. I haven't got that, so I unpicked it. I frogged it all back 3 times. I've got to this stage 3 times, and I think I'm going to have to frog it back because now I've read further. I mean, I should. I don't know if anybody else ever does that, but you don't read the pattern all the way through. You just kind of read a little bit that you need and then jump straight in. And yeah, so I'm not loving the way it looks. You can't, I don't know if the yarn isn't doing it much justice either, because it's a variegated yarn, and it's a DK weight as well. It's DK, and it's a croft yarn, and the colourway is Mayland 813, Marland, MAL M-A-I, mail and Mailland 813. And I purchased this from Sitting Knitting, Rachel at Sitting Knitting. Long time ago, before I'd say summertime or spring just going into summer. And yeah, that's it caked. Loving the colour. I just don't know if this is the right project for the yarn. Jury's out on that one, so that will sit in the naughty corner possibly for a little while. I haven't got that in a project bag at the moment, so because I just started it yesterday, it hasn't acquired a project bag, and I'm using the 4mm Knit Pro carbons, interchangeable, on one of the smallest. I think that's a 16, isn't it? The wire Knit Pro carbons. I love these. These are probably my second favourite needles, next to the blush, the licky blush. But I haven't tried any of the lick the other lick needles, just the blush. But that's the set, the carbons. And you get I think it's from 3mm. Is it 3mm? 3.5, sorry, 3.5 up to 6. So 3.5 up to 6mm. I think I've showed these before on the podcast because I've just remembered they kept falling out on the last one. So yeah, but yeah, one of my favourite needles to knit on. So that's that. So we'll see what happens with that one. The jury's out. Naughty corner it is. It'll go there with the what else have I got in that? Oh, the Nature's Walk blanket, which I still haven't done anything. I still haven't figured out what I've done on that pattern. For the border, I think what it is, because I haven't done as many squares as she does in the pattern. I think it's just kind of thrown off my stitch count. And it does say if you haven't got your stitch count right at that stage, things won't work out. So a little bit of one thing and a little bit of another. So yeah, that's all of my works in progress. That's all of my widths. Finished object. So now I want to talk about my this is a project that I gave to my grandson to design my logo. He's media designer, just fresh from uni, and he designed all of well, he designed several designs for me, and I went with this one, but there was several different ones that he came up with, but I absolutely loved this one. It's just the way he sees his nan. I believe. Yeah, but he is his jellyfish designs and media on Instagram. So if you need anything designing or you'd like to go and have a look, he hasn't got much of a page at the moment because they're just him and him and his partner Elle are just starting up, trying to kind of work out for themselves going forward, a little bit of a business, and that's going to be their thing. So yeah, hi Luke, hope it all goes well, sweetheart, from Nan. So yeah, Jellyfish Design and Media. I'll pop a link in the description bar below so you can go and have a little look. Like I say, he hasn't got much on his page at the moment, in the way of anything, but you know what, you got to start somewhere. We've all got to start somewhere, haven't we? So yeah, young people, they need a little bit of help and encouragement, especially in this climate. He's really suffered over the lockdown, and you know, different things with mental health, just as a lot of young people have. So yeah, pop along and have a look. Next, I want to speak about, I had a lovely message from a lady called Debbie on Instagram, and she's not a new knitter, she's getting back into knitting. She's got to the stage, like a lot of us, kids have left home, you know, you've got several hours in the day to kind of whittle away, and she started knitting again. Well, she's bought herself some needles, and she was asking about patterns and different yarns to use and all the rest of it. We had a little chat, and then over the last couple of weeks I've thought about kind of all the things that I could have said, or if it would help anybody else really. But I know when I started knitting again, well, when I started knitting, because I hadn't really knit before, like I said before, I was a crocheter. So I got onto YouTube and I found excuse me, a lady, a young girl, a really young girl, and she'd done a pattern for just a sweater, just the bog standard, and she called it the Velvet Slouchy. Her name is Britney, and she's Just Be Crafty on she got a Just Be Crafty podcast. Her name is Britney. Does any of that make any sense? So I knit that jumper, but I didn't like sleeves. At the time, it was the middle of summer. We were still in lockdown. I think just before I went back to work. So I knit her pattern, but with no sleeves. So it's worked in two pieces, so a back and front. But then I changed the bottom. Did she have that on the bottom? You know, I don't know if I've changed it and split it, or split it higher than it was, or I've done, it wasn't exactly to pattern anyway, because I didn't buy the pattern. It's like she does like a knit along for the jumper. This is made in DK Serdar DK cotton. I forget the colourway now, I haven't got the colour band, but it's lovely just to throw on in the springtime, you know, when it's too warm for a jumper, but it's not cool enough for a jumper with sleeves. But I'm not a sleeves person anyway, as you probably know by now. But yeah, so Deborah, if you're watching, that's another place you can go and have a look. And there's also another lady on there called Vicky Knits. She's got a podcast, Vicky Knits, and she's got some sort of beginner tutorials and things like that. So I'd encourage anybody, just, you know, YouTube's a fantastic platform for learning anything and everything really about knitting, sewing, crafting, whatever you like. So yeah, Pop along there and have a look, Debbie. I'm sure you'll find Deborah, sorry. It's just the Warsaw coming out in me. Now, one thing that I've done, do you remember I showed a few weeks ago, I did a hat for Richard in Rowan tweed. I don't know if I've put the ball away. Anyway, yeah, I found it. It's Rowan tweed. This was the colourway. I think theirs is just ruffle faucet, is it? See that without me focused. So I did this hat, and he absolutely loved this hat, and he's been wearing it to work, at work, all day, every day since I've finished it. So on Friday, everything was in the wash basket to go in, all his work clothes, so I threw them in the washing machine. 40 degrees, as normal, fetch everything out. It wouldn't fit my grandson now. He's devastated. He absolutely loves it. Yeah. So I don't think he's going to be wearing that again. So now I've got to make him a new hat for work to go underneath his mask. He's a welder, so he'll wear something underneath just to stop the mask digging in his head. And he's so particular, and I was so happy and pleased that he actually liked this. And it was just something I'd just cast on so many stitches, measured his head, and then knit until it fit him. Started the decreases kind of round about there, and just decreased down to about 4 stitches, I think it was, and then pulled them together in the top. And I was ever so proud of it. It was lovely. And it's felted. I mean, felted tweed felts really well, doesn't it? There is no gap. You can't tell it's knitted. You would think that well, can you just about see through with the light? It looks like a piece of material more than a knitted garment. So yeah, so watch this space for another Richard hat. Oh dear. Right, and I think we're on to favourite things. So this this episode, my favourite thing has got to be, as I've said it before, I'm a big crochet fan. I used to be. I'm more of a knitter now than I used to be, but crochet was my thing. So Richard bought me a couple of Christmases ago the Tulip set of hooks. It comes in a lovely case. There's one missing out of this because it's in my Nature's Walk blanket bag. In my Mrs. D bag with my Nature's Walk blanket. So yeah. And I absolutely, these are the best crochet hooks I've ever used, bar none, bar none. They are, this isn't sponsored, by the way. I'm not getting paid for this. This is things that he's bought me, all of my favourite things. They're things that I've had bought or I've bought myself, that I love. It's just what I love to use. So it comes with a little pair of scissors in there as well. I think there's another hook there that I'm missing. This one goes from 2mm up to 6mm, US 10. 2.0 is it for a 2 to a 10 US anyway, if you can see that. There's a little, you get a little tape measure, a little ruler in there, and you also get some darning needles. I'm not sure if there was anything in this set that I've actually not put back in there. I think that was the whole set, because all of the stitch markers and that is what I've added in and left there. I actually said on the last podcast that there was, I showed you a needle measurement in a sheep, and that didn't actually come with that set. I've just thrown it in there. It actually comes with the higher flyers. So yeah, sorry Bev. Do you know what, I never, you know I'm not professional, but yeah, those are my crochet hooks, Tulip hooks. I actually got, he bought me for Christmas last year, the this one. This is the higher one, and there's so many in this one, and I like them, don't get me wrong, I like them. They're a lovely set. He got this from Elle at Crafters Magic. She sells these in her shop. If you want to pop along and just have a look, she's got some lovely stuff in, you know. She sells needles, all of the higher needles. I think she stocks all of those now. So those are the higher ones. But I have to say, this is my favourite. You know, some people say, well, a crochet hook's a crochet hook, but I just find that one, they just slip. The stitches slip off there so easily, and it's really quick. Everything goes really quickly. Yeah, so that's my favourite things of the week for this episode. But yeah, those I love. Those are my favourite. Okay, so I think that's everything. I hope I haven't bored you too much. Oh, look at my grandson's going to be looking at this. And my daughter came last week and she said, every time he watches a podcast, Mum, I'll go, Nan, move your sign, nobody can see it. So there it is. It's pride of place. I'm so happy with it. Okay, well, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back. Most appreciated. You're always welcome. Have a lovely crafty week, whatever you do. Don't get too stressed. Help each other, love each other, and I'll see you on the next. Bye.